Let me tell you something that no one tells you when you're starting from scratch. You don't need everything to begin. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need unlimited resources. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't even need to have all the answers right now. You just need to start. Because starting with nothing is the greatest gift life can give you. It builds hunger. It creates resilience. It teaches you how to move through the world with your eyes wide open and your head held high, even when your hands are empty. And let me be clear, empty hands are not empty potential. The world will measure you by what you have right now. But legacy isn't about what you have. It's about what you build. It's about what you create, who you impact, and how you show up, even when no one's watching. You don't leave a legacy by luck. You build it quietly, repeatedly, through late nights, early mornings, and uncomfortable conversations, through discipline that no one claps for, and growth that no one sees until suddenly they do. See, people love the outcome. They love the story when it's shiny, when it's filtered, when the work is done. But legacy doesn't come from the spotlight. Legacy is carved in the dark. It's forged when you choose not to quit, when you keep going after hearing no, when you decide that being underestimated isn't a disadvantage, it's a superpower. And I want to tell you something you might need to hear today. It's okay to not have it all figured out. It's okay to feel behind. It's okay to start small, because starting small doesn't mean you'll stay small. It just means you had the courage to begin where others made excuses. Don't wait for the perfect timing. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the applause to start making progress. If you want a legacy, you have to show up like it's already yours. Like the future version of you is already watching. Because one day someone will. Someone younger, someone lost, someone searching will look at your life and say, if they did it, I can too. That's the power of legacy. Not fame, not recognition. Impact, the invisible ripples of the decisions you make today. So no, you may not have the connections, you may not have the funding, you may not have the spotlight, but if you've got heart, if you've got fire, if you've got the guts to try, then you've already got everything you need to start. Start with nothing. End with legacy. Because how you finish will never be defined by how you began. You don't need everything to begin. That's the myth, the one that keeps most people frozen. Once I have more money, once I feel more confident, once someone gives me a chance, then I'll go for it. No, that moment you're waiting for, it's not coming. And the truth is, it doesn't need to. Because you don't build confidence and clarity by waiting, you build it by moving. There's something powerful about starting with nothing. It forces you to focus, it forces you to figure things out. When there's no plan B, you show up differently for plan A. You stop wasting time, you stop seeking validation. You get resourceful, you stretch yourself, you pull strength from places you didn't even know existed. Because when you don't have the luxury of a backup, you become your own answer. And I know it can feel unfair sometimes. You look at people who started ahead, who had the money, the mentors, the timing, the perfect circumstances, but here's what they'll never tell you. None of that matters if they don't have the fire to keep it going. What you build with struggle, with grit, with consistency, it lasts longer, it's deeper, it's stronger, because it was earned. And when you earn something, you protect it. So if you're in a season right now where you feel like you have nothing, no connections, no clarity, no cheerleaders, I want you to know that's not your weakness. That's your edge. Because starting with nothing means you get to build it your way. No one is telling you how to dream. No one is handing you a script. You're writing it yourself. That's real power. Don't let lack fool you into believing you're behind. You're not behind, you're being built. And the most dangerous person in any room is the one who didn't skip the steps. The one who learned to be their own coach, their own engine, their own motivation. Because when the applause dies down, and it always does, what you've built internally is what carries you. So stop waiting. Don't let your limitations become your excuses. Let them become your launch pad. Start with what you have, even if it's just your voice, your belief, your work ethic. That's enough. And yes, you might stumble. You might fail, but you'll get up stronger every time because you're learning from the ground up, and nothing teaches like experience. You weren't meant to wait until things are perfect. You were meant to move while things are messy. That's how you build something real, something lasting, something that doesn't just change your life, but becomes a light for someone else watching. You don't need everything to begin. You just need to begin, because legacy doesn't start with having, it starts with deciding. And today you decide. What you don't have in your hands doesn't define what's already alive in you. Just because your hands are empty doesn't mean your heart, your mind, and your spirit are. And that's the part no one sees. They'll measure your worth by what you show, the job title, the bank balance, the followers, the awards. But the truth is, the most powerful part of you has nothing to do with any of that. Empty hands are not empty potential. In fact, they can be the greatest opportunity you'll ever have. Because when your hands are empty, you're not distracted. You're not caught up in the appearance of progress. You're focused on real growth. You're not managing a reputation. You're building a foundation. And trust me, that's where legacy begins. Look around at the people who made something extraordinary. Most of them didn't start with full hands. They started with a full heart, a full vision, a full commitment to show up, even if nobody was clapping. And that commitment, that's the fuel. That's the difference between people who rise and people who wait their whole life for someone else to give them permission. If your hands are empty right now, it's time to use what's invisible. Your ideas, your energy, your discipline, your values. That's the real wealth. That's what builds something that lasts. Because anything external, money, support, even opportunity can be taken. But what's built in you, that's untouchable. The world doesn't always reward invisible progress. You'll work hard, you'll push yourself, and sometimes you'll wonder, why isn't it happening yet? But here's what's really happening. You're growing roots, and you don't see roots growing, but they're everything. Without them, nothing stands when the storm hits. So don't rush to fill your hands. Don't chase the shortcut. Chase the structure. Chase the self-belief. Chase the who you're becoming, not just the what you're getting. Because what you build inside will always overflow into what you build outside. You'll attract the right people, the right moments, the right momentum, but only when your identity is strong enough to hold it. Some of the most dangerous people in the world are the ones who learned how to move forward without applause, the ones who weren't handed a crown, they carved it themselves. And those people, they're not just successful, they're solid, they're steady. They don't fall apart when things go quiet because they know how to keep going, even with empty hands. If you're in that space right now, don't panic, don't shrink, don't envy the ones who look full. Just keep building from the inside out. Keep using what you do have. And when your time comes, and it will, you'll be ready for it because you won't just be someone with results, you'll be someone with substance. Empty hands can still build a full life. You just have to stop looking at what you don't have and start recognizing who you already are. Everyone wants the spotlight, the recognition, the praise. But what they don't understand is this. Legacy isn't built in the spotlight, it's built in the dark. In the early mornings when it's just you and your doubts. In the late nights when you're pushing through tiredness, frustration, and silence. No crowd, no claps, no one cheering you on but you. And yet that's where everything real begins. You see, it's easy to look successful when people are watching. It's easy to be motivated when you're being celebrated. But the ones who create true impact, they show up even when there's no feedback, no applause, no one validating them. Because their motivation doesn't come from being seen, it comes from being committed. That's the work most people skip. The quiet, invisible, unglamorous work, the repetitions, the habits, the conversations you have with yourself when things don't go right. It's easy to quit when no one knows what you're doing, but it's in that place, that silence, that you shape the person capable of carrying the weight of real success. When you build in the dark, you build with depth. You're not rushing for the result. You're anchoring yourself in process. You're learning to trust your voice, your instincts, your resilience. You're learning to stand firm without needing someone else to say, you're doing great, because you already know. The dark seasons teach you what the spotlight never could: discipline without reward, consistency without attention. That's rare, and that's exactly why it's powerful. If you're in a moment where it feels like no one sees you, like the progress you're making doesn't count, let me say this, it absolutely counts. What you're doing right now is not wasted. You're not behind. You're building something the world hasn't caught up to yet. That quiet grind, it's preparing you for a future that will need everything you're learning today. And when the spotlight finally finds you, because it will, you won't be scrambling to prove you belong there. You'll be steady, rooted, ready, because you didn't build for the camera, you built for the mission. That's the difference between attention and legacy. Attention comes fast and fades even faster. But legacy, that's the kind of thing that stays. It grows in rooms you've never walked into. It impacts people you'll never meet. And it all started because you chose to show up when no one else was looking. So stop worrying about who's watching. Don't wait for permission to be proud of yourself. Be proud now. Be consistent now. Keep building in the dark, because when the light hits, what you've built will shine brighter than you ever imagined. The quiet seasons are not a setback, they are the setup, the training ground, the proof that you're not just here to be seen, you're here to stay. Let's talk about the uncomfortable part of growth, the part most people avoid: rejection. Being overlooked, feeling invisible. It stings, doesn't it? When you put yourself out there, give your best and still get a no, or worse, nothing at all, silence. But what if I told you that rejection isn't the enemy, it's the training ground? What if obscurity isn't a curse, it's a classroom? We grow the most when we're not being praised, when we're not being picked, because those moments force you to dig deeper, to ask yourself, who am I when no one's clapping? And the answer to that question, that's who you really are. There's something powerful about being underestimated. It teaches you how to build muscle, mental, emotional, spiritual. It teaches you how to move without needing approval. And that is lethal, because the person who doesn't need validation to keep going is the person who becomes unstoppable. When you're constantly chosen, you get comfortable. When you're rejected, you get resourceful. You look for another way, you sharpen your skills, you learn how to listen, how to pivot, how to lead yourself. It's in those unseen seasons that you actually become the kind of person who can handle the success you've been dreaming of. Obscurity is not a punishment, it's a protection. You think you're ready for the platform, but what if you're still building the character to carry it? What if the rejection is saving you from a version of success that would have crushed you because you weren't ready yet? And I know how hard it is to be patient in that space, to feel like you're doing everything right and still not seeing the results. But every no you survive is teaching you to become someone who doesn't break when the pressure rises, someone who knows their worth without needing someone else to say it first. There will come a time when the same people who ignored you will look back and wonder how they missed you. And in that moment, you won't feel bitterness, you'll feel clarity, because you'll know you didn't need to be chosen to rise. You just needed to keep choosing yourself. Every rejection, every delay, every quiet season, it's all developing the kind of strength you can't fake. It's building the kind of confidence you don't have to broadcast, because it speaks through how you carry yourself. That's what creates real momentum. That's what builds legacy. So if you're in a season of being overlooked, don't shrink, don't give up, don't twist yourself to be more palatable to people who were never meant to see your vision anyway. This isn't the end, it's the becoming. And your time will come, not because you begged for it, but because you became the person who couldn't be denied. Rejection isn't the wall, it's the doorway. Walk through it. Here's a truth most people miss. No one's coming to tell you you're ready. No one's going to knock on your door and hand you the perfect opportunity. No spotlight magically turns on when you hit some invisible milestone. If you're waiting for permission to go after the life you want, you'll be waiting forever. The people who make things happen don't wait. They don't wait for clarity, confidence, or confirmation. They move first, they act. They take the step even when their voice shakes and their hands are uncertain, because they've realized something most people haven't. Permission is an inside job. You don't need someone to say go, you get to say it to yourself. Every time you hold back because you think someone else knows better, has more experience, or has already done what you want to do, you shrink your own voice. And here's the thing, no one can live your story the way you can. No one else can deliver the impact that only your perspective, your experiences, your energy can create. But you have to believe that before anyone else ever will. Don't wait until you feel fearless. That's not how it works. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the choice to move with it. Confidence is what you build after you show up, not before. You don't become ready and then begin. You begin, and through beginning, you become ready. Most people are paralyzed by this lie that they're not enough yet. I need more experience. I need to be better. I need someone to pick me. No, you don't. What you need is to stop outsourcing your power and start owning your choices. Every great leader, every impactful voice, every person who's made a difference, they all had to go first. They all had to choose themselves long before anyone else did. That's what separated them. Not talent, not luck, just the willingness to move before it made sense to everyone else. Stop rehearsing your life in your head. Stop waiting for a sign so obvious that it removes all risk. That sign doesn't exist. What does exist is this moment, right now, where you decide, I'm going, I'm doing it, I'm starting. You'll never be perfect, but you will get better. And the sooner you begin, the sooner you evolve, the sooner you start speaking, building, writing, creating, whatever it is, the sooner you stop being someone who talks about it and start being someone who does it. No one can give you what's already yours. So don't wait for the tap on the shoulder. Don't wait to be discovered. Discover yourself. That's the most powerful move you can make. Say yes, step in, own the room before anyone even realizes you're in it. You don't need permission. You just need to start acting like the future you is already watching, because they are.